Okay, what is going on, you guys? It is Nick. I'm back here for another video, and today we are reviewing the Legends of Professional Wrestling Figures Toy Company. We have Savio, Vega, and again, this also goes with my last video where I reviewed Dr. Tom Pritchard and his figure from Figures Toy Company, the Legends of Professional Wrestling. And I said I had Savio Vega on the way, so I was going to review it. I've actually had this figure also since Christmas, and I gotta tell you, Savio Vega, I shared a locker room with him at an SWF show here in Jersey. That's where I'm based out of, and I wrestle for the company. And Savio was down to earth, very nice guy. He's still kicking it at his age. He's still wrestling at his age. I shared like 2 shows with him back to back. Really nice guy. Really didn't get to talk to him, but when I introduced myself to him and said, I'm Nick, I'm a pro wrestler, very nice to meet you, I love your stuff, that kind of stuff. He was very down to earth, very, very down to earth, and treated the boys in the back pretty nicely. So I can't say anything bad about Savio Vega, and today we're going to take a look at his figure, the one that personally I wanted the most out of all the figures that have been made of him. But of course I got this figure, and then there was announced that there's like a retro type figure, not made by Mattel, but made by a different brand, and that one looked a little bit better. But we got Savio here, and we'll take a look at his accessories. We'll take a look at the packaging in the back. Again, I already opened it because I got it on Christmas. It is March. We're in the middle of March, or late end of March. So obviously I opened it and I had it on display. But let's take a look at the packaging, whatever the cardboard that comes in the back, and then we will take a look at the figure itself. So for the packaging, it's kind of standard. You have a picture of Savio there, which we will get back to this because you see the attention to detail with the hair. They actually put that on the figure. It says 8 and older, Figures Toy Company, Wrestling Superstore, Savio Vega. The warning, again, 2022. I'm 3 years behind, or 2.5. And then it says Legends of Professional Wrestling on top. Then on the back, here are the rising stars, same as Dr. Tom Pritchard. You can get these guys, all them. Pause if you want to read them. And also, I have to put this a little bit further back, so I got to move the figure, which we're just going to hope that he stays. But there's all the people, which I don't even think that does it justice. There's all the people that you can get in the Legends of Professional Wrestling so far. I don't know if they're still making figures. I feel like they are, but I also am not too sure. So I have Dr. Tom, I have Savio Vega, I have Homicide. I want to get more, obviously, but again, like I shared a locker room with Sandman, don't have the figure, but I want to get the Mattel. I shared a locker room with Shane Douglas, like I said in the last video. Probably want to get that figure because it resembles the closest to how Shane looked when I shared the locker room with him. So, but then there's pretty cool guys. So, yeah. It's pretty cool. But let's get into the Savio Vega figure itself. Okay, and as for Savio Vega, you get this like gold necklace. It's actually like a chain. Like it's actually like I could probably put it around my 2 fingers and it could be like an accessory or something. But it's actually like made out of chain metal and gold. So it's pretty sick. I don't know if it's like fake gold. It probably is, but it's a pretty sick. It weighs pretty heavily. Definitely could be used for like a John Cena or something like that if you wanted to, but it might just be a little baggy. But definitely a cool accessory outside of the cloth goods that you get that are his wrestling attire. But this is all you get outside of that. Okay, and as for Savio Vega himself, we take a look at the figure here. It's your standard Jack's articulation, like I said in the Dr. Tom one. The head sculpt, I gotta say, I don't see Savio at all. But he can bend down pretty nicely. Looking up is kind of like that's as far as he's going to get. But he can bend down pretty nicely. Or, he can look down pretty nicely. So, his head goes side to side. Whole 360. But you get that little awkwardness there. Definitely not bad. I don't know if something's off with my eyes. I don't think they are. But then we got signature. I'm going to put this here. You got the chain that I put back on. You got a signature striped red shirt. Yeah, just plain on the back. Nothing too crazy there. I think if you look, see, like that's what I'm afraid of. You heard that crack? I get very afraid of with these figures, but I don't know if you can see right there. There is a little staining from the red. So, again, these figures, they stain pretty easily. That's one of my biggest gripes about these, and that's why a lot of people have not gotten these, honestly. But, hey, Savio Vega figure, you know, can only ask for so much. You know, he can do the full rotation. It's Jack's articulation. Got the, you know, swivel at the wrist. Can bend his wrist, bend his arm. That's as far as it's going. Not double jointed, obviously. He can move his hips, but only so much because this is actually tucked in to these pants. And this is all cloth, which I like. And I like how they have the attention to detail there with the belt buckle. It's actually buckled. But at the same time, I feel like they could have just sculpted that on and given him some sculpted jeans or something. But black wrist tape and then folded jeans. And I think, yeah, these are just regular black boots. Nothing too crazy to go with the Savio. You know, you see all the stitching and everything. Good attention to detail here. But honestly, I think it might be unnecessary. I'd rather have a figure where, you know, the jeans are sculpted and they pay a little bit more attention to the articulation or the head sculpts. But like I said, good attention to detail. They did get that part of his hair right there where it's kind of cut. So I will give him that. Overall, it's not too bad of a figure. I will say so myself. You know, it's just going on my display shelf for who I shared a locker room with and who I met. And yeah, it's not bad. He's got a mic holding hand over here. I don't think I said that before. You know, he stands pretty well, but again, with these figures, like same thing with Dr. Tom, you almost got to like bend them a little bit, like bend the knee, and then they'll do that. And, you know, with him, it's kind of harder with the knee because the jeans kind of hinder the articulation a little bit. But, you know, and these feet are just too loose at times because it's just Jack's. It's like Jack's articulation. So, like, see how I just had to do that? Now he stands perfectly fine. But, I mean, overall, I can't complain. You know, like I said, again, with the Dr. Tom, same rule applies with the Savio. Is it worth the $19.99? I'm not too sure. Maybe $15 I would go for. You know, I don't think it's worth the $19.99. I don't think it's worth the $30 that some of these figures are going for. Especially now with all the new articulation we got going on. And now the rise of retros. You can get the Savio Vega retro style figure made by that one company. I forget the name on top of my head. It might be Chela Toys. I forget what it is. But yeah, definitely, in my opinion, not worth it. Not worth the price. But it is cool to have a Savio Vega, I will say, in the collection. Now, I will go and get like my Dr. Tom and do a height comparison. I don't really know their heights, but we're just going to do kind of a comparison with the heights. Okay, and I mean, if you look at these figures here, Dr. Tom is supposed to be 5'10". Savio is supposed to be 5'11". You kind of put him closer. I think it's because of Dr. Tom's hair that he's a hair taller. I mean, you could definitely, if you want to have this match, I don't really know if you would or not, but you have Dr. Tom and Savio right there. So it's definitely, I would say, if you're looking to fill that gap, or like how I am, I said this with Dr. Tom, if you're looking to fill that gap and you need someone, like you need Savio Vega in your collection, or, you know, you met the guy and you collect and you put him on your shelf and of all the people, like how I do, or if I share a locker room or whatever the case may be, if you do that, I would suggest getting this figure. It's a good placeholder, and also it's almost to scale. It's the closest thing we're going to get to scale right now to a Mattel or an AEW. That's why I say get this. But if you don't really care and you're like, I just want a Savio Vega figure, I would also suggest the retro style. But yeah, so that'll do it for this video. And I thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to be a part of the Cardinal Country. And stay tuned for more figure reviews and card unboxings. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.